Steady now.
In something of a weird twist, two movies from quirky director Jared Hess would receive handheld video games in 2007. Napoleon Dynamite would see a belated adaptation, while Nacho Libre would power slam its way onto Nintendo DS. Curious coincidence aside, the handheld lacked a lot of options for wrestling games at the time, attempting to fill the void while adapting the comedy film. Budcat's effort certainly isn't without merit, mostly in regards to its presentation and certain technical feats, but it's also another licensed DS title which lacks longevity, consistent gameplay, or fun. As with the film, Nacho Libre focuses on Catholic friar Ignacio, who, since childhood, has dreamt of becoming a famous luchador. But with this forbidden by the church and a new love interest on the scene, he must lead a double life as he hides his grappling from both his colleagues and the children of the orphanage. The major strength of this game lies with how Budcat retells the story. Cutscenes utilise photos of the film's cast, Jack Black's likeness and all, while mouths and limbs bobble as if bouncing off a pop-up book, and they match the outlandish tone of the film very well. More technically impressive is the use of FMV clips lifted from the film. Quite the feat for the system, and though they lack crystal clear sound or picture quality, it's still impressive. Unfortunately, actually playing Nacho Libre is where things begin to deteriorate. The story mode consists of a mix of wrestling and minigames. The former is underwhelming despite offering the appearance of depth with unlockable grapplers, moves, and differing attacks. You can strike, grapple, exit the ring, and climb the turnbuckle. Once you enter a grapple, you can perform a few moves with a button and directional input. Unfortunately, grapples prove overpowering and can stifle AI, even on the hardest setting. Strikes and other attacks do less damage compared to a series of grapples, and the CPU struggles to counter the latter. It makes matches rather dull as a consequence, and not even the chance to duel with characters from the film or partake in tag and four-way matches can add much excitement. The other side of the coin, the mini-games, fares worse. Taking key moments from the film, whether it's Ignacio creating a salad for his love interest or crashing his vehicle, and turning these into quick challenges to utilise the touchscreen, isn't the worst idea, but the execution ranges wildly. Some prove inoffensive but bland, such as rearranging puzzle pieces or swatting Ds by touching the screen. Others border on broken, mostly when it's required to do a stylus flick. The basketball and melon toss games suffer from unresponsive inputs and inconsistent throws, turning them into frustrating affairs. That being said, most games can be cleared after a couple of attempts, and though hard increases the barrier for passing, it's barely noticeable. It proves a pretty insubstantial experience, as the story mode can be cleared in just over 30 minutes. 3 difficulty levels all prove easy to clear, meaning there's little incentive to return, other than a few hidden clips to unlock if you missed them initially. Multiplayer tries to pick up the slack, allowing for 4-player multiplayer and even single-cart multiplayer against one person. You can partake in tag and 4-way matches, as well as championship, with the winner being the first of 5 victories. Unfortunately, the wrestling simply isn't strong enough to give these modes legs beyond initial curiosity. Outside of those cutscenes and FMVs, Nacho Libre doesn't look so good. The style attempts to retain the quirkiness, with scans of the actors overlaying sprites, but it's not a great look. Geometry for the arenas, crowds, and 3D assets are pretty poor too. Performance holds steady at least, but otherwise it looks a bit garish. The sound features minimal but inoffensive music, harsh sound effects, and a grating announcer, making for a dull auditory experience. Nacho Libre makes for a bad time unfortunately, failing to break away from the raft of underwhelming DS licensed titles. It earns points for style, and some of its technical feats impress, such as its use of movie clips. Unfortunately, the playing experience ranges from dull to broken. Lackluster wrestling and poor minigames add up to a boring time, though luckily, most will be able to clear the experience multiple times in less time than it takes to watch the movie. Needless to say, there's little reason to try Nacho Libre, even if you adore the film or Jack Black.